Well, hi there. Thanks for joining me as we take a look at this practice problem with Venn diagrams and probability. This is an IB problem, and this one is IB problem number 11. So let's take a look and see what we got. In a group of 35 students, some take art class, which is going to be our A, and some take music class, which is going to be our M. 5 of these students do not take either class. The information is shown in the Venn diagram. Okay, well, I'm going to take a look at the Venn diagram before I start looking at the problem number, the parts to this problem. So, okay, I've got my universal set. Now, I've got a whole bunch of stuff labeled for me. Just to keep in mind, though, how many students are going to be in our universal set? So how many students are going to be in our box here? Well, that's going to be 35, because I have a group of 35 students. So I know that inside the box, I'm going to need 35 students. Now, the other thing I'm going to notice is because these are whole numbers, I know that we're dealing with the number of students, not the probability. Remember, if we're dealing with probability, it's going to have to be numbers between 0 and 1. So since these are whole numbers, I know that I'm dealing with the number of students, which is also why I put the 35 out here, because again, we're dealing with the number of students. So let's see. I have 11 in this section, and this section is the only A. So notice these 11 are not in circle M at all, but they are in circle A. So these are students who only take the art class. I've got 6 students in the middle, and we've talked before that that middle piece is in the arts, and it's also in the music. So these 6 students are taking both art and music. Looking across, now I have these 13 students. Notice these 13 students are in the M circle, but notice they're not in the A circle. They're only in the M circle. So these are 13 students who only take music. And then, as the problem says, these 5 students on the outside do not take either one of these classes. So they're taking a different arts class. Maybe theater, maybe film, who knows? Okay, so that's what I've got going on in my Venn diagram. Write down the number of students in the group who take art. Okay. So I want to know how many students take art. Well, remember art, this is my A circle. So how many people are in my A circle or my art circle? Remember, that's the whole circle, all of the circle for art. So how many people are in that circle? Well, I have 11 who only take art. I have 6 who take art and take music. So if we pull the roster for the list of students who take art, how many people are going to be on that roster? Well, that's going to be these 11 and these 6. So I'm going to have 17 students take art. Okay? So part B, we have 1 student from the group is chosen at random. Find the probability that the student does not take an art class. So does not. Now, I'm also going to recognize that this is a probability. So remember, this is the number of desired, or the number that we want, over the total number. Okay, so I know I'm going to need a fraction or a decimal for probability. So for part B, I need to know how many students, so I need to know my desired number. I want to know how many students do not take art class. And my total number, well, I know my total number up here is 35. So I need to know, of those 35, how many do not take art? Well, okay, so not art is everything that is outside of my circle A. So if I think of all of this as my circle A, I want everything outside of that circle. Well, which sections are outside of circle A? Which sections are not A? Well, that's going to be my little 13 over here and my 5 over here. So I'm going to have 13 plus 5. So this gives me 18. Now, I'm going to use some probability notation here. The probability of not art, remember that little apostrophe means not, is 18 out of 35. Okay, because I have 18 students who do not take art, 35 total. This is my probability notation that I'm going to use. So the probability of not art is 18 out of 35. In my other videos, I've been a little bit lazy about putting boxes around my answers. Always a good idea. Put a box around this one. There we go. All right, let's look at part C. One student from the group is chosen at random. Find the probability that the student takes either art class or music class, but not both. Okay, a lot going on here. So we're going to start off with takes either art or music. All right, so for or, remember, this means either anybody who is on either one of those rosters counts, right? So I'm going to take the list of students who take an art class, and I'm going to take the list of students who take a music class, and all of those students are in art or music. So for or, if you watch some of the earlier videos, when I shade for or, I'm going to color in all the art, and then I'm going to shade in all the music, and I'm going to leave the lines going the same direction, because there's not a difference. I want everything together. Okay, so if I want to know the probability of art or music, remember that funny little upside down U means union. Union means or, so that's how we write or for probability notation, is going to be all the numbers inside here. So the 11 plus the 6 plus the 13, so 11 plus the 6 plus the 13, all of those students take art or music, and then there's 35 students total. So what have I got? 11 and 6 and 13. Nowadays, that's what? 30, right? So 30 out of 35. Now that's if I just want the or. So if I want or, I'm going to color in all the pieces, and I'm going to leave the lines going the same direction, and anything that gets colored in is fair game. But be careful. It says, but not both. So how are we going to do that? I want art or music, but not both. So notice I've got 3 sections that I've shaded in here. Which one of these sections do I not want? Which one of these sections represents both? Well, if you remember back when we were first talking about this Venn diagram, this little piece in the middle here represents both the art and the music. So it turns out we don't want the 6 in this. We only want the 11 and the 13 because we want but not both. So we don't want that middle piece. So as it turns out, the probability that I actually want, probability art or music, not both, that's going to be the 11 plus the 13. So that's going to give me 24 out of the 35, and that is going to be my answer for part C. So thank you for joining me. If you have more questions, feel free to reach out to myself, Miss Ascot, or Miss McDougall. We would love to help you out some more.